Welcome to The Explainer. Summer heat can be a real challenge if you're living with MS. So today we're going to break down exactly why that is and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with a problem that's super common, can be really frustrating, and probably feels, well, a little too familiar when those heat waves hit. So you know the drill, right? It's a scorcher outside, so you hunker down indoors, crank up the AC, and think, okay, I'm safe in here. But it turns out the reality is a little more complicated. And this is what Dr. Gretchen Hawley, a physical therapist, points out. Even when you're inside, you're not totally immune. That intense heat from the outside world can still be enough to nudge your core body temperature up, and boom, your MS symptoms can temporarily feel worse. So what does that really look like? Well, when your internal thermostat goes up even just a tiny bit, it can feel like a pseudo-exacerbation. That could be that familiar fatigue just hitting you like a ton of bricks, or maybe old issues with your balance or your vision suddenly decide to pop back up for a visit. So, you might be wondering, why on earth does this happen? Well, the science behind it is actually pretty fascinating. And honestly, it's really reassuring once you get what's going on. This whole thing has a name. It's called Othoff's phenomenon. And neurologist Dr. Aaron Boster has this perfect analogy for it. Imagine a nerve that's been damaged by MS. Maybe it's only working at like 90% capacity. On a normal day, totally fine. But then you add the stress of heat, and that nerve just can't handle it. It temporarily fails. It's like a short circuit in an electrical wire. And listen, this next part is so important. It can feel incredibly scary, right? Like you're having a full-blown relapse. But here's the reality. Overheating is not causing new or permanent damage. It's not. The second you cool your body back down, that short circuit fixes itself. And those symptoms? They should just fade away. And knowing that, well, that's empowering, isn't it? It means we don't have to just fear the heat. We can get proactive. So let's do that. Let's build a toolkit of real, practical strategies to manage this thing. Okay, it really boils down to two core ideas, two main principles for staying cool. Number one, get strategic about when you do things. And number two, be proactive about how you cool your body down. So first up, timing. This might sound like common sense, but honestly, it's so critical. The experts are all on the same page here. Don't plan to do your gardening or go for a long walk at, say, 2 in the afternoon when the sun is just beating down. It's all about shifting those activities. Move them to the early morning or later in the evening when things have naturally cooled off. All right, second big idea, you can basically attack the heat from two different angles. You can cool from the outside in. We're talking about things like cooling vests. And a lot of the new ones are super lightweight. You can even wear them under a shirt. Or even simpler stuff like cooling wristbands. But at the same time, you've got to cool from the inside out. And one of the best ways to do that, just constantly be sipping on ice-cold water. It's a fantastic way to directly help lower that core body temp. Okay, so beyond all these lifestyle tricks and strategies, there is actually a medical option out there. For some people, it can be a total game changer, and it's definitely something worth discussing with your neurologist. It's a prescription medication called Ampura here in the US. And what it does, basically, is it helps shore up your nervous system against that short-circuiting effect from the heat. Now, it works for about half the people with MS who try it, so, it's about a 50-50 shot, and this is a huge but. There is a critical warning. It is an absolute no-no drug if you have any history of seizures. So this is something you absolutely must have a serious conversation with your doctor about to see if it's even a safe option for you. So let's wrap this all up. Look, heat sensitivity, it's real. And yeah, a really frustrating part of living with MS. But it absolutely does not have to control your life. As you've seen, this is a manageable challenge. It's not about panic. It's all about proactive planning and preparation. This explainer really gives you the toolkit. Now you're in the driver's seat. So what's one thing you can do to get ready before that next heat wave hits? By planning ahead, whether that's getting a cooling vest ready to go or just stocking your freezer with ice, you really do have the power to live your best life, even when the temperature outside starts to soar.